are going to help tell a story. This is called storyline. You are the beginning line of the story. So think of the beginning line. You are the middle of the story. Think of any middle conflict, throw in whatever you want, and you are the end. You are the very last line of the story. One at a time, you guys are going to step forward and connect another line of the story, okay? Our opening line is,
once upon a time, a young man named Andy woke up and realized that he had to go to Taiwan.
But it wasn't pineapple juice. It was poison.
very good, excellent. Our last line is,
even though Godzilla crashed Tokyo, he still appeared on t-shirts.
wow, all right.
And Andy watched in horror as the poison slowly took control and murdered his best friend. Andy's mother said, "You better stay away from that weirdo with the camera. What's his name? Patrick."
And Andy and his best friend Jimmy went to have a drink, and Andy got Coke and Jimmy got pineapple juice.
As he was leaving the restaurant after seeing the death of his best friend, he walked out and saw a small little Asian man yelling, "Godzilla!"
He was so big that in one step he moved all the way to Taiwan to Tokyo.
Good, very good. Let's hear the story again.
Once upon a time, a young man named Andy woke up one day and realized he had to go to Taiwan.
And Andy's mother told him, "You better stay away from that weirdo with the camera. What's his name? Patrick."
In Taiwan, Andy went to have a drink with his best friend Jimmy. Andy got a Coke and Jimmy got pineapple juice.
But it wasn't pineapple juice. It was poison.
Andy watched in horror as the poison slowly murdered his best friend.
Andy then left the restaurant in horror after seeing the death of his friend. He then saw a small little Asian man yell at the top of his lungs, "Godzilla!"
He was so big that in one step he managed to move from Taiwan to Tokyo.
Even though Godzilla trashed Tokyo, he still appeared on t-shirts.
Good, next, jump in there. Whoever gets there first. Very good, nicely done. Seize the opportunity. Good, let's go on.
Jimmy thought to himself, this pineapple juice tastes weird.
Nice.
Andy walked up to his mother with sadness in his voice and explained that his friend Jimmy's mother had died and he had to leave.
Very good.
As Andy looked up at Godzilla, he wondered why his mother never potty trained him.
He had to tell his mother the tragic news.
There's still some elements that seem kind of random.
After arriving in Taiwan, he looked up in the local news for the obituaries of Jimmy's mother and called him up, and they went to a bar.
Once upon a time, a young man named Andy woke up one day and realized he had to go to Taiwan.
Andy had to tell his mother the tragic news.
He walked up to his mother with sadness and explained that his friend's Jimmy's mother had died and he had to go.
Andy's mother told him, "You better not hang out with that weirdo with the camera. What's his name? Patrick."
Once he arrived in Taiwan, he looked through the newspapers for obituaries of Jimmy's mother, called him up, and they went to a bar to have a drink.
And in Taiwan, Andy had a drink with his best friend Jimmy. Andy got a Coke and Jimmy got pineapple juice.
Jimmy thought to himself, wow, this pineapple juice tastes weird.
But it wasn't pineapple juice. It was poison.
Andy watched in horror as the poison slowly murdered his best friend.
After seeing the death of his best friend, he then left the bar. He then saw a small little Asian man yelling at the top of his lungs, "Godzilla!"
And as Andy gazed at Godzilla, he wondered, why did my mother never potty train me?
He was so incredibly large that in one step he moved from Taiwan to Tokyo.
Even though Godzilla trashed Tokyo, he still appeared in t-shirts.
Let's publish that, all right?